Hi, I'm James Ardolino, your host, and welcome to Gold Table Real Talk Podcast, where we'll discuss topics ranging from business to fitness and even lifestyle. So whether you're working, driving, or at home, you can hear real talk, real stories, and real advice. So sit back, relax, and we hope you enjoy. Cheers. Hi, this is James Ardolino, and I'm your host with Gold Table Real Talk Podcast. Tonight we have a special guest by the name of Jon, aka Jon Dillinger. And he's here to discuss his music with you and the career path he's chosen as far as his music goes.
What's up?
So, Jon, tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe where you're from, how you got started.
Well, I'm from South Texas, from a little town called Smiley. real small town. It's like probably max, I think I remember seeing is like maybe 500 people. And pretty much lived there most of my life. Then I moved 8 miles away to a little bit bigger town called Nixon, and that's where I'm currently at right now. So I pretty much lived in this area my whole life.
Okay, cool.
Small town kid, proud of it.
Okay, and so how did you get started in music? Well, what inspired you?
Music-wise, from the jump, I pretty much always had a thing for music. And my grandfather was a mariachi back in the day, so in the 70s and the 60s. So I guess that kind of just got passed down because even my uncles and all them, they did music. And so it was just kind of an in the family thing. My whole family likes music, so it's a real big thing for us. So I guess you can say that's where it kind of just started, just hearing it from just hell as early as I can remember.
So on your end, it's not just talent; it's in the bloodline.
Oh yeah, big time,
Cool.
time.
Cool.
Yeah, music is. It's just more than music. It's hard to explain. It's it's just in our blood. We just love music.
It's the heartbeat.
Yeah, pretty much.
I hear you. So if somebody, for all the listeners out there, for people who want to get involved in music, where do you start? From the beginning to where you're at now. Explain where you're at right now, but from the beginning, how would somebody get started? To take that path?
Oh, well, how I started was, to be honest, it's a funny story. I remember I was I think 9, if not 10, somewhere around there. I remember I was just at my uncle's house one time, and he literally just looked at me and said, let me backtrack a little bit. He was in a band at that time, and he literally just asked me, hey, do you think you can rap? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll try. And so I was like, all right. Pretty much from then I just started writing, and of course, just everything, you just start off, you're you're right. So, but then as time got on, I just became better and better and better, and I realized that I actually had a talent for it. So that's how I started. I just really would just buckle down and bought me countless journals and just started writing. First, for the first few years, it wasn't even over music. It was just over just writing down just rhymes in my head. Just if I can make this word rhyme with this word in a cool way, I would write it down. It was never to any kind of beat or instrumental or nothing. It was just what I had in my head, and it would just get written down as ideas. And then over time, through my high school years, that's when it started picking up more. I met some other guys who were pretty cool. They did music, and they actually led me into my first studio session, which was interesting. But that's how I got my start, and I pretty much just kept it going from there and never really stopped. I mean, like I said, it's just something I'm real passionate about.
Cool. So where can you be found? Let's let people know
my social medias, you can find me on Facebook at I believe it's official Jon Dillinger. That's my Facebook page, and my YouTube channel is Jon Dillinger Music, and you also can look me up on Spotify, pretty much any major streaming site. You can just look me up. Just look up Jon Dillinger, spelled JONDILLINGER, and I should pop up.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you another question here.
Yeah.
Me being an entrepreneur, there's always things that you have to expect. There's reality and then what you actually expect. Some people's, they shoot a little too far beyond what they need to. What is the reality going into music how many, like, what are the hours involved that it takes to start something from the beginning? You know, how much does it cost? You know, is it like starting a new business?
Oh shoot, yes. If you want to dive in, like if this is like something you really want to like pursue as a career, oh yeah, you're gonna time and money, blood, sweat, and tears, all that stuff. Like like I said, in high school is when it really started for me. That's when I got my hands on my very first laptop, and then just the software itself, and then the hardware, the microphones, the cables, the speakers, all your little plug-in effects. I mean, yeah, it's gonna cost a pretty penny, but you don't have to go major crazy as long as you just get like the decent stuff. I think like my first microphone I bought was like $60, but you know, it's just something to start off with. But yeah, it's gonna cost you some time. But like with the recording process and all that, when you talk about time wise and the writing, yeah, like depending on the person, yeah, it can take a few minutes, and then it could take a few hours, a few days, a few weeks. But for me personally, I'm just speaking on myself. It can take me a few hours just to get, you know, something good going. But it's just depends on the person, really. Like how serious you want to take this. Like if you really want to dive in, make sure like everything you write is like real as good as it can be is the only way I can describe it. It's gonna take some time. I mean, I think the longest I ever took on a song was like maybe about a week or two, just because I wanted every single word I said to be as clear as I can get it. So it takes a while.
That's an art. It's definitely an art. So going back to equipment, what do you think somebody would need just to start to put, you know, get some tracks laid out, get their voice heard?
Oh, bare bones basic. Just if you're really starting, if you're really like, you just want to just fiddle around with some music, bare bones basic, get a decent, like I said, my first microphone was $60. So, and like you can go out, get a pretty much everyday laptop from like your local Walmart or any electronics store, really. Any like average laptop these days can run any kind of like music software. Hell, I think like the first music software I did was a free one I found on YouTube called Cool Edit Pro. So yeah, you're gonna spend a few hundred, but it's not like crazy, like 700, 800. I think you can get by with like maybe 5 or less, just depending on how much you personally want to put in. So, but it can go above and beyond. Like my setup now, easily I probably threw in a couple $1,000s over the years. Just not at one time, but just over the years.
But that's a good investment. It's an investment in your music and yourself and what you love, your passion.
Yeah.
Okay, so who's your favorite artist? Who inspires you the most? I think I know the answer to this, but
I'm gonna sound really cheesy here, but yeah, growing up, for me, just because it was Eminem, he was by far my favorite, and my second favorite was just speaking about rappers, was my other favorite was Tupac. It's funny, me and Tupac actually shared the same birthday. He was born June 16th of 1971. I was born June 16th, 91. So, but those two guys right there for me, they were really really struck a chord with me. They're the ones I really buckled down and like studied when it came to like how they would like make rhymes and say this kind of word, their flows on how they would do certain rhyming patterns. Those were the two guys. Those two guys always fought for the number one spot, like in my mind. Those were like the biggest influences on me.
Okay, cool. I don't think many people would disagree with Eminem and Tupac. So, where do you see your music taking you now?
Slowly but surely, I can tell it's getting better and better and better as time goes on. Because, like I said, it takes hours and hours and hours to get good. And I'm thinking just now, like just recently, I'm really starting to buckle down on the whole getting better at the recording process, the mixing process, and all that. So I can really see it like in the next 5 years actually being something I can make a living off of. But because like I'm just like right there, right about to hit the top of the hill for me, to where I can start to live comfortably with my music.
I mean, I think I see it sooner than that, but I think we actually met. We were at the gym, and I was starting to get into YouTube a little bit here and there with my entrepreneurship, and I asked you if it came up somehow where we just started discussing things, and I was excited that I found someone that knew how to edit.
Oh yeah.
And I got to tell you guys, he's just amazing when it comes to editing the skills. I mean, I can try to sit here in front of a computer to
Self-taught too. Self-taught, by the way.
yeah, unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. It's I think you're mastering an art that a lot of people don't master, and I think you've taken a lot of time and taken a lot of dedication to do it. So kudos to you on that. So, what kind of music are you doing right now? What's your style? And are you going to stick with that style, or are you going to branch off and do other things?
Well, when I first started, it was like real, I had like a real 90s boom bap-ish type style of like my music and stuff. And I stuck with that for a while, but now I'm like starting to get into more like laid back, well, they call it like lo-fi hip hop type of stuff. But I also like, I really want to like get into like different kinds of music too, like just mixing it with the hip hop stuff. Like, believe it or not, I love oldies. Like, oldies are like just something for some reason that just click with me. I can listen to that stuff all day long. I really like mixing those two. And then there's like other areas of music, like a little bit of rock, a little bit of like jazz mixed in with that too. Like, that's kind of where I'm at right now. And like in another few years, that could change. But as of right now, today, that's kind of where I'm at. I just really like that laid back feel when it comes to my music. But I could pretty much do anything. I could do the more upbeat type stuff, the more hardcore type stuff. But right now, I just like that laid back feel. It's more or less where I'm at. It just really depends on how I feel when I just start writing my music, making my music. But as of right now, I like that lo-fi stuff. It's like really just vibing with me right now.
Cool. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Any advice that you could give the younger generation out there where they're trying to get into music and they're trying to, break in that scene?
If you're thinking about doing music and you want to do it seriously, you're going to really have to put some time into it. Don't just think that you're just going to step up to a microphone and record and it's going to be hot just like that. No, I really wish that was true. And something else I wish some people would have told me was it's better to learn all this stuff by yourself, because me personally, having to depend on somebody to help you out with your music. Like I said, I first started writing. I didn't really know how to record, mix, master music. I had literally had to learn all that by myself. So I would say just take some time to learn that as well. And then it will really help you in the long run, because you never really know when inspiration hits you. Like, I've literally had like days when I was just literally just laying in bed or just being a bum around my house, and I just had like these couple words just come out of nowhere in my mind. I'm like, oh, that sounds really dope. I want to write that down. And it just would suck if you had that same moment and you're like, oh, well, I can't record because so-and-so is not at the studio, they're out of town, or, just stuff like that. So I would say if you really want to get into it, just learn how to do more than just write and get in front of a microphone. Take some time to learn how to do all the behind the scenes stuff. That's your editing, your mixing, all that kind of stuff. Trust me, once you're truly, truly independent on that stuff, if you can do everything 100% yourself, just the producing, the mixing, the mastering, the recording, if you can do all that by yourself, you'll be knocking out music like crazy. But yes, it will take some time, but trust me, it's way worth it in the end.
It's funny you mention that, because I've been in business for almost 25 years now, and when they say your time is money. So if you're sitting there trying to figure out how to do everything, and you being from a smaller town, of course, it's hard to find people that, are all music savvy or, with the software and whatnot. But anyways, if your time is money and you're spending time trying to do that, you're not spending time on your music, or you're not getting yourself while you're hot.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good advice. Anything else?
Hey, if it's really what you want to do, don't stop. No
matter what.
Yeah, just really don't. And of course, there's going to be those people who say you're crazy. I've literally had somebody tell me I'm wasting my time doing this and I'm better off doing the quote unquote the traditional thing, which is finishing school, go to a college, get a degree, get a good job. I'm just like, nah, that's not for everybody. And I'm one of those people. And it's really what I like to do. And just if people say that, just ignore it. And you just got to make sure this is 110% this is what you want to do.
What are they doing? What are they doing?
Exactly.
Most of those people are usually doing something that they don't want to do for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And they're listening to what they have to every single day, which you have to do to a certain part, to a certain extent in life. I understand that, but you do only live one life, and you got to make it worth your while you're here. You got to do something that's fun.
True.
So,
and to me, music is fun. It's not just my passion. I actually have fun making music. That's why I can literally do it hours and hours, days and days. And I literally remember like one time I did music for like 3 days straight. I like barely slept a few hours in between those 2 days. Like I was just so locked in. It's just what I do. All kids my age, like especially back in high school, like they were going to movies, having parties, and I was literally just stuck in my room. And my family can back this up. If they see this, they can 110% back this up. I was that kid that always had a pen and a pad, and I was literally just writing and writing and writing. And all other kids my age were out and about doing this, doing that, and I literally just stood out from the crowd and just like, nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. Y'all can do all that.
but it shows in your music. It shows in your music, and that's what dedication is,
It sounds cheesy, but it's true. I swear to God, it sounds super cheesy.
No, it's true. Yeah, I always wanted to sing. I used to play, clarinet and
Clarinet.
Won some gold ensembles, man, and stuff like that.
That's news to me.
Yeah, I love music. I wanted to be a singer, but if there's anything that's below a starving artist, if I were to sing, I would definitely be homeless. Most definitely.
Nice.
Well, listen, I appreciate you being on the show. I know it's a little bit short of an episode. This is our first podcast, but I appreciate you joining us.
Start somewhere, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you joining us.
Appreciate you having me.
And, if, like I said, if you guys want to check him out, he can be found at Jon Dillinger 91 on Instagram.
Yep.
I believe your YouTube is the same.
My YouTube is Jon Dillinger Music.
Jon Dillinger Music. Okay. Find them on YouTube. He's also on Spotify and all major
streaming platforms.
Platforms. Guys, this is James Ardolino, your host. Thank you for joining us tonight. You can find us at Ruffiano International on Instagram, also RuffianoInternational.com. We will have this, I believe, on YouTube probably tomorrow or the next day if you're listening to this. And thank you for tuning in. Good day and goodbye, and we're signing off.